As we have been checking in since training camp has begun for the Carolina Panthers last week around this time, every morning we're checking in with our sports director this morning, Nick Carboni, who is at B of A. Week starting with everyone with their pads on. Nick, are you there? How's it going?
I'm good, Jane. How are you? Yes, pads came on yesterday, pads off today. You get 16 padded practices in training camp. They're more intense, as we saw yesterday, with a bit of a scuffle that we can discuss. And, you don't want to go all pads every day to start training camp. So I'm sure they will come back on maybe later this week, and probably not for Fan Fest on Saturday.
All right. Yeah, so that's good to know and get a little break here and there. So how'd it go?
Well, yesterday's camp, as I said, more intense with the pads on. We had our first camp scuffle, and I've been to Panthers training camps where we don't see a single one of those, especially when it's not involving another team. So end of team drills yesterday, second-year linebacker Trevin Wallace popped running back Chuba Hubbard pretty hard over the middle. It was a clean hit. It was actually, within the rules of training camp, which you can't tackle to the ground, but you can what they call thud, basically, hit up top. Chuba ended up on the ground anyway, and as soon as I saw it was number 30, I knew there was going to be something coming after it. So he bounced right back up, and they got into it a little bit. Didn't see any swings. Team came together for a little bit and separated. And then what the team doesn't want, what the coaching staff doesn't want, and certainly a lot of the leaders, A, they don't want anybody to get hurt, and B, they don't want it to distract from practice. So they actually regrouped very quickly after that, ran a few more of the team drills, and then wrapped up practice on time. Sometimes those things can get bad enough where they just end practice completely, and that's what a coach doesn't like to see. And after the little scuffle, Coach Dave Canales said, listen, it's just football. We're being physical. He's preaching that this needs to be a physical team this year, especially defensively. So I think he probably kind of liked that a little bit. And even Chuba Hubbard, who was on the receiving end of it, although he did have kind of a knot on his head, but he was joking about it because he didn't want to be on camera with it. But he said, Trevin was just playing hard. It's all love. It's just football. So I think, honestly, there's a net positive from it as long as nobody gets hurt and as long as they still get their work done. It's just a team and a defense that, doesn't want to be pushed around anymore.
All right, they're already putting up their dukes a little bit, Nick. And who's competitive? I'm sure everybody's competitive, but what areas are looking real hot now?
Yeah, I think we're looking for defensive improvement, and I think that's going to be slow to come along because certain guys are coming back off of some injuries. Derek Brown, I saw him today rehabbing his injury a little more. He tore his meniscus at the beginning of last season. He missed the rest of the year, was cleared for activities for training camp, but they're taking it kind of slow with him and not wanting to rush him back just yet. But I know that he aims to be on the field week 1 at Jacksonville. Their incoming defensive tackle, Bobby Brown, is somebody that everybody's excited about in terms of helping stop the run. He just was activated yesterday. So some of those pieces are just starting to come back piece by piece. I would say the most competitive group right now in terms of guys competing for jobs is the wide receiver room, with the addition of Hunter Renfrow, with the draft choices of Tetairoa McMillan in the first round and Jimmy Horn Jr. in the 6th round. Plus, you've still got Adam Thielen. You've still got Jalen Coker, who made a splash as an undrafted free agent last season, and Xavier Legette, who everybody hopes can make that next step in year 2 and hold on to the football. That's become a group that everybody's got their eyes on every day, and the coaches and front office are going to be bearing down on some tough decisions when cuts come in a couple of weeks.
Servin, you have a question?
Yeah, Carboni, we talked a lot about the receiving room yesterday. As you mentioned, there are those guys, but then there are more guys. But out of those guys that you just mentioned, right, are we overhyping this receiver room at all?
Depends who we is. I think Ocho Cinco tweeted that it was the best receiving group in the NFL. That may be a bit of hyperbole and overhype, and I think he was going for that a little bit. He and Adam Thielen are good buddies now after he kind of had some negative things to say about the Panthers receivers room last year. I don't think, whether it's overhyped or not, we'll see. Certainly in that sense, yes, it is not yet the best receiver room in the NFL. But in terms of how much we're talking about it and how much we're saying positive things about the room, I think relative to the last couple of seasons here, especially with Bryce Young as quarterback, it is clearly a better room. It is deeper. It is more talented than we have seen here in a while. And that's exciting for people who want to see Bryce take his next step. Now, I think it could become a very good receiver room in the NFL if a few things happen. One, that Tetairoa McMillan proves worthy of the 8th overall selection. Two, if Xavier Legette takes that next step and not only gets open, but holds onto the ball in key situations. And maybe even add in 3, if Hunter Renfrow truly is his Pro Bowl self, which Dave Canales even admitted yesterday, he thinks he looks like that guy again, then yes, this could be a very strong receiver room. They don't give out awards for most improved receiver room in the NFL, but if all of those things hit, this could certainly take that. And I think all of those things hitting is absolutely within the realm of possibility. Then you add, you've added more pass catching out of the backfield in Rico Dowdle and ETN, the draft pick. Then you factor in that they're excited about Jatavian Sanders, the tight end, and the one they drafted this year, Mitchell Evans, to kind of grow into more of a pass catching tight end role just to give Bryce Young more options. So overhyped as the best receiver room in the NFL, of course, but something to be excited about, absolutely.
We is me and Ocho Cinco. I know I like that Ocho Cinco guy. It sounded like he played in the NFL for quite some time. Carboni, I do have another question. You talked about the running backs. Do you get a sense that there is like Dave Canales is really like putting an emphasis on the running game? Because I feel like last year, and granted the Panthers were down in a lot of those games, they abandoned the run, but you have a guy like Chuba, you have a guy like ETN that you drafted, also Rico Dowdle from the Cowboys. Like, is there an emphasis, do you feel like, on the running game this year?
I've gotten a sense that Dave Canales has wanted to emphasize the run since his first press conference when he mentioned it, I don't know how many times. Now, you're exactly right. Even in situations last year where it was clear that this would be a good time to run the football, I don't think they did as much as they could have. You do have to factor in the context of they were behind a lot. Maybe the run game wasn't working, so they went to something else. But I think there were absolutely situations where they should have leaned on it more. And I think by design of this roster, it's almost, going to force him to because of the addition of Dowdle and ETN. Between Dowdle and Chuba, you've got 2,000 yards of rushing plus from last season coming into the 2025 season. And then you look at the construct of the offensive line, all 5 guys back, and all 5 guys suit the run a little better than they suit pass protection. So that just tells me absolutely they're going to lean on it. And if they want Bryce to take the next step, and if they want these new weapons on the outside to be open, the run is going to have to set that up. So I think you will see a more concerted effort. Now the defense has to stop the other team from running the ball and preserve leads for the Panthers or keep them in positions where they're not way behind and have to throw the ball to catch up.
How you liking this heat, Carboni?
I was about to say, we need to do a wellness check. Carboni was fighting for his life during that 4 o'clock live hit.
Oh, no.
Well, there's a few reasons that I'm not on camera. One is because we can't have video up right now at practice. 2 is that I don't want you all to see what I look like right now. I lugged in about 80 pounds of gear. This is like day 5 of camp for me. They've all been, almost all of them have been absolutely brutal, I think, except for the first one. But it sounds like relief is on the way. So I might look a little better on camera by Friday, hopefully. But it's typical training camp. What I will say, I will never think anything is hotter and more humid than Spartanburg, South Carolina at this time of year. There is somewhat of a breeze blowing across Cedar Street right now, so we'll take that.
All right, well, not stay cool, not even stay dry.
Hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Wear
There
a
you
hat
go,
out
Carlene.
there, please.
Got a
Sunscreen.
new bottle. Got it all. I got it all.
Okay,
We're
good.
checking all the boxes.
All right, well, we'll hang with you again this time tomorrow and check in with you later on this afternoon on WCNC Charlotte.
Talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Carboni.
Thanks, Nick.